Welcome to Real Geek Media. It is June 6, 2024. I am Hayden Stoll, joined by Christopher Michael Blake and our very special guest, Cody Sharpe of the Sharpe Side of Paranormal podcast. We are here today to talk about Alien ahead of its 45th anniversary, as well as interview Cody Sharpe. And Cody, Christopher, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good. I'm excited to be here. The Zofran has kicked in after. I mean, we could go into it a little bit now if you want. I mean, obviously 45 years. If you haven't seen Alien, then that's on you. So the wife brought Chinese home, and I was rewatching the movie, so it was fresh in my mind, and I was eating it during the chest burster scene. So definitely would not recommend that.
Nice. Nothing says dinner time like the chest burster scene.
Yeah, I mean, the whole scene plus the fact that nobody knew what was going to happen was even better. Like, it makes the scene better now that you know that, and that's their genuine reaction.
So, Cody, before we get into the movie, let's talk a little bit about your show and what you do and where people can find you.
They can find me right here. So I am a paranormal investigator. I've been a paranormal investigator for 2 years now. I decided to start a podcast to just share other people's stories, because I like talking to people and hearing their experiences, because everybody's experience is different. And it's been a crazy 2-year ride, and this year I decided to start manufacturing paranormal equipment, which has completely taken off. And so now you can find me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, all those places.
Very cool. Christopher, how you doing tonight?
Hayden, I'm here to tell you that on this podcast, nobody can hear me scream.
We're here to talk about the bonus situation, man.
Look, I'm fortunate enough to be coming to you straight from the Nostromo tonight in 2087. But somewhere around me, Jonesy's going to kill a whole bunch of people. But before we get to that, Cody, how does somebody get started in the paranormal investigative field?
It's actually pretty easy. What's funny is I was doing my podcast last night, and my guest Lauren, she brought up it is as easy as saying I'm a paranormal investigator to become a paranormal investigator.
That hasn't come across my mind. That has crossed. Yes.
There's no licensing required. I'm a certified paranormal investigator. We have unlicensed proton packs on our backs, so no, here's the thing. My first paranormal investigation was me and my wife. We went to the Indiana State Sanatorium. We did it's the Ghost Hunts USA. The company went out of business. It was a very shady company. We had a good experience, but it was like $189 a person to go to this location, and I got addicted to it. I was like, I want to do this. Let's do it. I'd always seen it, and I didn't realize you could actually go do it. And now here I am doing it. And I've been to some crazy locations, been part of some residential calls that went crazy. People having some problems at home, and yeah.
Nice.
So I have a question for you. Even though there's no licensing required to be a paranormal investigator, the paranormal community itself is very tough and very hard on each other in terms of evidence. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Some of us take it seriously, others don't take it seriously, and that's okay, because you're going to get entertainment in any industry. Like, I mean, so there are people there are paranormal entertainers, and then there are paranormal investigators and researchers. There is a difference between the two. If you're in it to entertain people, make money, you worry about the content numbers, all that stuff, you're an entertainer. If you're in it to find out what happens when we die, hear the stories of those that are stuck in locations and whatnot, then you're a researcher, an investigator. Excuse me.
I was at the Paranormal Encrypted event this weekend in Sayreville, New Jersey, and it's the first time I had actually heard. It was a Bigfoot expert actually speaking about some of his investigations that he's done and some of the research he's done, and he called himself. This is the first time I've heard this. Maybe you've heard it before. I have not, but I'm going to steal it. I'm going to coin it. Civilian scientist.
Yeah, I would say that's what I am. I don't get paid to. I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert. I'm just doing this as myself. As a person.
What would you say? Tell me about a very wild, anything wild or creepy, very creepy, scary incidents.
I love telling this story.
Yeah, please.
So that first investigation, I was at Indiana State Sanatorium. It's in Rockville, Indiana. My bad. It was a former TV hospital, and then it shut down and then became a nursing home. Now, originally, when the nursing home was to start, the county was going to shut down their nursing home and transport all the patients here. Well, they built this facility, added onto the facility, made it all nice, and then the county's like, nope, we're going to keep our patients. So these doctors were like, oh shit. Sorry.
No, swear away. Swear away.
Please.
All right, perfect.
We'll
Okay.
get to this stuff later on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
I've never used that word before. So they're like, oh shit, we need to figure something out. So there's this 5-story residential building there, and they house mental health patients in there. So a combination nursing home, mental. What could go wrong? So there was a lot of suicides, patient abuse, a murder-suicide between 2 employees that happened on the grounds. So, so we're in the nursing home section, and they're doing a sensory deprivation where it's completely dark. Now, there's a little bit of light from, the moon and some lights outside, so you can kind of see. Well, they put me inside the nurse's station. Now, inside this nurse's station is a closet, and the door opens, and this apparition walks right past me. Now, have you guys seen the movie Accepted with Jonah Hill and Justin Long, where they start that fake college? That scene where Jonah Hill screams really, really loud.
Yeah.
That was me. My wife, who was down the hall, you could hear her laughing her ass because she knew it was me. So she was laughing her ass off at me. You're a pussy. I know. Thank you. She's my pretty little demon. So they moved me to the intersection of these 4 halls, and I'm sitting there, and now the two tour guides and 6 out of the guests witnessed this apparition come out of the nurse's station, come up to me, put its hand on my shoulder, and then disappeared.
Whoa.
Wow.
So at this time, were you a believer in this sort of field or this phenomenon? Or would you kind of grain of salt, or were you you knew you were going to experience something?
I was a skeptic. Now, I knew that okay. I believed in ghosts, but I was like, nothing's going to happen to me. Boy, was I wrong. So here's the kicker about that. So I've been back twice now. And the second time I was there, we were doing an Estes session in front of the nurses station, and the guy that was with us did not know that previous story. And he's like, Cody, I don't want to freak you out, but I just saw like a white nurse behind you in the nurses station. And I'm like, oh, hell no. And I saw her the last time I was there back in October. She was down the shadow hallway.
Wow.
With a patient.
Wow. Does it get easier the more you experience these things, or is it always unsettling? Or
it's always it's always unsettling.
Yeah.
I just did a solo investigation last Wednesday at Randolph County Infirmary. Now this place has been on numerous TV shows, and I'm there by myself. I'm up in the third floor.
Wow.
In the jail cell doing an EVP session. I'm on TikTok live, and hopefully you can hear the audio because somebody screen recorded it, and this isn't like a spirit or anything. This is just me in this, and you can hear my friend's reaction. So I'm up on the third floor in this jail cell, and all of a sudden I heard a door slam in the basement, and it was so loud I heard it on the second floor.
Wow.
There was a wet spot in the jail cell that wasn't there prior. They might want to check the roof for a leak. But no, for me it doesn't ever. I think, and this is just a personal theory, there's no evidence to back this up, but I think the spirits enjoy living on the fear of people. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
I have a question here, and I have written a short story, and it's funny you mentioned the Estes method and sensory deprivation, because I put both those in the short story. Hayden, I hope you wrote that. I read that script, Hayden. I hope you did. If you hadn't, shame on you. What's your favorite piece of paranormal investigative equipment that you use during your investigations, Cody? Is it an EV machine? Is it a thermal camera? Is it a spirit box? What's your favorite piece? If I had to go to an investigation with Cody, this is what he's bringing with him today.
So I have obviously I make equipment. So, and here's the thing: for people that are listening, you do not need equipment to do paranormal investigations. I personally think the best piece of equipment you can have is yourself, and then the next piece of equipment is your phone, because it's got an audio recorder and you can record video and take pictures on it. But the next piece of equipment that I use, the brand name is REM Pod. It's a proximity sensor. My name for it, because REM Pod is trademark, is the Sharpe Pod. Basically it creates an EMF field, and once something breaks it, then it goes off.
Nice.
Now, I was reading somewhere that, is it the feedback from the phone that could potentially cause that to break sometimes? I have read that somewhere, right?
Any electronic has the ability to break. Excuse me. That EMF field. So cell phones, two-way radios, and that could even be two-way radios from police, fire, anything that's nearby. A radio station that's nearby can all set off your devices. So using one piece of equipment and it going off and saying, "Oh, there's proof right there," is not proof.
Okay.
That's why I'm starting to carry a police scanner with me, so I can scan frequencies that are close by. So I know, like, hey, at this time we had something happen, but also at this time there was a radio transmission nearby. You got to debunk.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, that's smart. That's the civilian scientist in you coming out. Yeah.
It's just being trying to be credible.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think, like, I have no frame of reference in this realm. So for me, I would imagine, like you had just said, you got to debunk. Like if you encounter something, you do, okay, it was attributable to this or this, right? You eliminate it had to be a spirit, it had to be an apparition, it had to be something, until you can, I guess, say that no, that had to be an apparition, right? Like that makes sense to me that you would want to do it that way.
And that's why, and I was talking with my guest last night, Lauren. She's hardcore civilian scientist. You got to set up controls. Like, you got to know every single variable. If you don't know that, then there's a lot of room for, errors to happen. But most people just go for fun. Let's be honest. Most people go for fun, want to communicate with spirits, and that's cool. And that's what, sometimes I do. Actually, that's what I mostly do. But like if I'm doing a real investigation, like if I'm at somebody's house, I try to find every possible explanation that's not paranormal before I say it is paranormal.
Wow. Cody, I met you at Paracon, and you said you had drove, was it 11 hours from Indiana to get there?
10 hours.
10.
But it
That's
came out to
hardcore.
almost 11. Yeah.
That's
God,
hardcore.
God bless you.
When you have an 8-year-old, it definitely is longer. Because he's, Dad, I'm hungry. We literally just had Papa. I'm hungry again. Yes, no, I had fun. It was a fun experience. Met some cool people. Yeah.
Do you ever get out to East Coast much for any kind of investigations, or you kind of mainly stay in your local area?
I typically stay in my local area. Now, I am going to the Conjuring House in November, so there's that.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Nice.
And scared.
Now, where exactly is that located?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Okay.
Now, don't get me started on the Warrens, because they were entertainers. They weren't researchers. They were the entertainers. They wanted money. I mean,
Now,
I would love money too.
Cody, we deal with a lot of film here on this podcast, and we talk a lot of television and anything that's basically geek. What would be the movie that you think is most realistic in terms of paranormal investigation? Or that you said, oh, you know what, that's probably the way it probably happens or could happen, or...
So, this is going to sound weird, but Ghostbusters. Now, here is why I say Ghostbusters. Because they were doing it, first off, for research, but like a lot of the stuff they talked about, PKE spikes, ectoplasm, all that stuff is all stuff that people are learning in the field and whatnot, and that is the closest thing that is any sort of entertaining that kind of resembles paranormal. I mean, the Conjuring movies are crap. I mean, I love them, but it's not like that. There was a movie a few years ago, horrible movie. I watch it every year because it's so funny. But Grave Encounters.
Oh, yeah.
It's so terrible, but it is so funny at the same time.
It's spawned a number of sequels, too, hasn't it?
There was a second, and that was just even worse than the first. I'm just like, how many times are we beating a dead horse here? That poor horse from The Godfather.
Yeah.
Now, Hayden, I have to tell you, if I'm in a basement with a beautiful co-ed, I'm definitely shocking you. Just letting you know, I have no problem hitting that button. So, I'm sorry, that was a wave. That was a star.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah. There you go. So
I want to go back to Pennhurst real quick. So I was
Sure.
going around doing kind of like a Billy on the Streets type thing and interviewing people, which was fun. I did get a lot of weird looks because I was walking around. So I had this microphone.
I saw you.
And
With your son. You had your son in tow. I saw
I
you.
did. Yeah. So I ended up getting a actual interview microphone.
I like it.
I know. But people just hated my jokes. And I don't know why. I thought they were funny. So I would be like, yeah. I would ask people, well, do you believe in demons and, whatnot? And I was like, I'm married to one. Well, my wife hates that joke.
What were you getting? What were the looks? Just kind of like,
Just like, oh my God. This guy, I was just going around talking into the microphone and everybody's looking at me. And I was like, I just carry this microphone around in public so I can talk to myself and nobody thinks I'm weird. But no, so I would tell the demon joke. And my wife was like, if you keep telling that, the only way people will be able to talk to you is through the Ouija board. And then I would be like, hey, listen, speaking of Ouija boards, there's a guy selling the fake ones over there. I would watch out. I bought one. It turns out it was a Luigi board. It kept saying it's a Mario. So
I didn't like that. I like that. That was good. That was good. I like that.
It was funny.
Yeah. What's wrong with these people?
I know. Is this crowd dead or what?
Yeah, right? Tough room. Oh, man. Yeah, that was good. I would have got a laugh out loud for that one. Yeah, that was good.
We were at a haunted location, so the crowd was partly dead.
Listen, you could be like this stand-up paranormal researcher.
H-A.
You just go back and forth. You get a carpal tunnel from using the Ouija board.
I have to ask a question. Were you able to get an interview with the Ghost Brothers?
No. But I did get an interview with Chelsea from Project Fear.
Really? Okay, that's great. I gotta say,
the audio failed.
Oof.
That's why I went and bought this guy.
how much did that run you?
I think it was like $150, something like that.
The reason I asked is because I just interviewed Ron Moorhead, Sierra Sounds Bigfoot expert at Cryptids and Paranormal. I was just at. He's in his 80s now, and he's had some health issues, and I didn't realize it. And I had him come over to my table where I had the camera set up, and I had felt so terrible because if I had had one of those, I could have interviewed him at this table. It would have been a lot better. So again, live and learn. I'm new to this, but
it's got 4 XLR inputs, SD card. You can run it off of batteries, or you can hook it into power or a battery pack. You can actually even use it as an audio interface as well. It's got sound effects too. It's got like laughing, applause, drums.
But do they have jeers when we tell bad jokes? I don't know.
You can actually program certain sounds in there. So so you can get like laughing and cheers. So I like it.
But does it sell on the Sharpe Side of Paranormal website?
No, it does not.
And that's the problem I have with it.
I know. Let me reverse engineer this. I might be able to come up with something. So, I try to stay away from doing fancy stuff. Like, I get asked to make this a piece of equipment. It's called an EDI, and it was like a $400 piece of equipment, and it measures like EMF, temperature, humidity, vibration, all that stuff, and it logs it. And they stopped making it. The guy that made them stopped making them, and I'm just like, my goal is to make affordable equipment for people, but I can't do that.
I can't. How did you get into making your own equipment? Was it just kind of an out of necessity kind of thing?
Well, yeah. So I found a 3D printer at Micro Center for like $100 if you sign up for their text alerts, and I'm like, okay, I'll just block them after I sign up for them. It's okay. Oh, I love Micro Center. My wife hates when I go there because I usually spend a couple $100. Anyway, so I bought this 3D printer for myself, and I'm just like, okay. So I get it, and I start making my own stuff, and some friends were like, well, can you make us some stuff? I'm like, absolutely. So I do, and then some random people just started messaging me, hey, can you make us stuff? And I'm like, cool. Yeah. And then I decided to open up my own business, and here I am, 4 months later doing this. I went from one 3D printer to that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now.
Wow.
Eight 3D printers.
Wow.
And my wife is so mad because they take up a lot of room.
Yeah.
I can imagine the resin cost per month is outrageous.
I use filament, so I use an FDM.
Right.
I don't do resin. It's just my preference, but I buy in bulk just because I have multiple suppliers based on how good their products are, and yeah. I mean, here's an example of something I made. So it holds the K2 meter. It's just a little older. Yeah, but no, apparently black is the most popular color. Who would have thought that? The paranormal, black being popular.
Shocker. Shocker.
I was on your website earlier today, and I was looking, and I saw you have a partnership with a logo company. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one of my paranormal friends actually is a graphics designer, and he's like, "Hey, Cody, I'll make you a logo." And he made me a logo, and I haven't used it yet. I'm trying to figure out how to use it because I have a brand already. I love the logo, but I was like, okay. And then I started sending some customers to him that didn't have logos, and I was like, you know what, buddy, I'm gonna put your your information on my website, and I'll send people your way. And he's sent people to my, like, hey, do you want custom equipment with your logo on it? Well, yeah. I was like, go see Cody. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Jason's a good guy though, and he'll help me out if I need something. He'll be like, here, I'll do this. And he does it as a hobby.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
I have a question for you guys.
Ooh.
So
get the microphone out.
How do I sound this? I turned it on. Whoop, I feel like Bob Barker.
Yeah. Yes.
Spay and neuter your pets.
Yeah.
So what got you guys to do a podcast on movies and stuff like that?
Well, funny story. Christopher was the first person I met at college, and it was like we instantly hit it off. And that was like we were into movies. He had seen movies I hadn't seen. We started watching movies, different movies, all kinds of stuff. And, we both share a love for horror movies. And that kind of was the beginning of our friendship back in 1995. So it's been a long road, a lot of movies, a lot of, pretty much him and I just shooting the shit. Like we would go, we'll go see a movie and we'll spend another 40 minutes in the parking lot talking about it.
That's kind. It's an hour and a half.
So we're gone, you're gone like this big chunk of time. You watch the movie and then we're just talking about it. And, we were like, well, let's just do this. We do it anyway. So let's get into it and record it and have fun. Yeah.
I was 6 years old in 95, just for the record.
Well, I'll say this. Christopher and I don't look our age.
I look old. It's the gray hair. It's balding. I just
look. It can't look worse than Mr. Magoo over here. And that's for people who don't realize that reference. It's a 1970s cartoon with Thurston Howell Jr. the third.
I got that reference. I got that reference because I watch the old cartoons on Boomerang and stuff like that because it's funny. No, here's the thing. I thought you were like maybe late 30s, early 40s. The bald head thing kind of really.
It's the gleam. It's the the Q shape. It's not. It's not that bad.
No, I don't want to be. This is gonna sound like a dickish question. How hard was it to get the lighting in your studio to not bounce off your head?
I didn't put any thought or anything into. Look, I'm follically challenged, and I'm president of that club.
I got a 5,
So-
maybe a 6 head, so I get the same problem.
I'm good. I'm okay with it. I started shaving about 10 years ago and have not looked back since. So
I'm just too lazy. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start, having a shaved head, and then shit. Now I need a haircut again. It's like,
once you commit, it's and I do mine in the shower. No shaving cream, nothing, just plain water.
really?
My face too. Yeah.
Well, I can't shave the face. Wife will not let me shave the face. When I was a firefighter, she hated it because all I had was the mustache. And, yeah, it was a majestic mustache. But she's like, just never drive a white van because people are going to get confused. She is totally my... she is totally my match. Yeah, I can say something and boom, she'll destroy me in an instant.
You're each other's wit match. Yeah, nice.
Well, okay, so I got the big old snippy snip back in September.
Oh.
And this lady makes me a care package. And I've got some of the things right here because I was actually talking to somebody earlier. So the box itself said, snip, snip, hooray. Oh, here they are. So she got me a package of oatmeal cream pies, but crossed off oatmeal, and it said unlimited cream pies. A bag of goldfish with a note said, say goodbye to your swimmers. A bottle of Mountain Dew that said no more due dates. A box of ding dongs that got crossed off, and it said, sorry about your ding dong. No more kids, which used to be Sour Patch Kids, and then a box of Nutty Buddy bars that says feeling a little less nutty.
Oh.
I'm just like,
And what? Yeah, standing out. Thank you.
And then the night before, she took me to Texas Roadhouse. So,
The problem I have with this is that we all know that once marriage does hit, there is no more sex. So the whole thing was nothing more than torture. So
I'm a masochist.
Oh,
I got 2 days off of work. I got to sit in a chair with a bag of peas. She won't eat frozen peas for some weird reason. I don't know why.
I would need a month off. I'm not kidding. I'd be like, yeah, take me out of work for a month. I'm good. Yeah.
At one point, I did feel the scalpel. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no!
Oh, dude, it was-
That might be scarier than any horror movie we're going to talk about.
oh man, that was like my worst. I'm like, Doc, you gotta stop. No.
What's the safe word?
Safe word is banana.
Safe word is foreskin.
Before we wrap it up, I'm going to read some commercials, and we're going to finish up the interview, and then we'll start with the aliens.
Cool.
So, from Christopher Michael Blake, author of the horror novel Pray for Dawn and the science fiction thriller Pyramid of the Parasite, comes the mystery novel Cape May Murders. 5 days before Halloween, retiring Chief of Police Browning has 2 different mysteries to solve. The first is the reappearance of a woman who's been missing for 25 years and who has amnesia. And the second is a killer dressed as the Grim Reaper killer, killing off Cape May stakeholders. Can Chief Browning figure out how these mysteries are related before becoming the next victim? The Cape May Murders is available on Amazon, BarnesandNobles.com, and at www.ChristopherMichaelBlake.com. Hayden, is your business looking for an affordable way to gain and attract new clients?
It is.
Have you heard about RealGeek.com's new promotion for this summer?
Tell me.
So basically, for less than a used packet of peas, you can sponsor our podcast or our website. So now, what's that? If your business can't afford the packet of peas, you can definitely feel the scalpel. Well, that was a low one. I know. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Consider running an advertisement during one of our podcast shows. Usually it's $50. However, special summer promo, $35 is what we're asking. Visit realgeekmedia.com. Click on the link for sponsor us, advertise with us, or donate here to get started. Again, that's www.realgeekmedia.com. Thank you to our good friend Cody Sharpe from the Sharpe Side of Paranormal podcast. You can find his investigations and podcasts on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. He has investigated some of the big-name locations in this country, including the Eloise Asylum, not Asylum. I'm trying to rhyme there. Indiana State Sanatorium, the Monroe House, the Randolph County Infirmary. You can find his information in his website and more of his podcast details on the Sharpe Side of Paranormal.com. Cody, what would somebody find going to that website?
I don't know. I haven't updated it in a couple of months, so no. I'm gonna
Hear that, everybody? He updated it yesterday. So
yeah.
so
I'm
okay.
updating it as we speak. Here we go. WordPress. Thank you. Some stories I've written. I used to write for Paranormal Magazine, and some of the articles that I've written are actually all the articles that I've written are up there. You can go read them. You can message me on there and share your story. If you want to be on my podcast, always looking for guests that, and it doesn't have to be just like you're a paranormal investigator. If you've had a crazy paranormal experience outside of that, or you're an individual or a location owner, obviously want to talk to you. But yeah.
I think me and Hayden would love to be on your show.
I thought we were getting to work on that. I would love to have you guys on the show. I
definitely.
think it'll be some
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to be shirtless.
Hold on now.
What?
Only if Hayden takes a razor to me first. I won't do it unless he razors me first. I won't. I have rules about this. It has to be like a mirror in the back. So like when he's doing my back, everybody gets the view of,
Purr like a walrus.
What's his name? Justin.
Dolphin Smooth.
What was the guy?
I'm just waiting for you to take a sip of something so I could say something witty.
What was the name? What was the movie Tusk? Oh,
Tusk. That's Justin Long.
Yeah, this is to do with the Justin Long. He does everything that we ask him to do. So,
Hayden, funny story. So I work in logistics. I drive truck and I work nights. So I'm up, 2-3 in the morning. My brother does the same thing. And the other night, we were on the phone. It's just horrible, inappropriate stuff. And my brother gets this idea. Well, why don't we prank? Are you familiar with like prankdial.com?
okay.
Where you can send prank phone calls to people?
Oh, really? No.
Yeah. So my brother's like, let's prank call our dad. And I'm like, okay. So he's telling me what number he's putting, because he was taking his 30-minute break. And he's telling me he's putting his cell phone number as the number to call. And then he's like, oh, listen to what number I'm putting in for. And he's reading out this number. And I was like, oh my God, that's our dad's house phone. And I had just taken a drink and I just spit it all over the dash with the semi all over me. I had to pull over because I was choking on the tea. So,
oh my God. How old is Dad? 57.
So
he's still gonna appreciate some of this humor coming his way, or is he just gonna freak out?
I hope. So here's the thing. I can't tell you what I did for Father's Day. I got him a really good gift. I can't. I will tell you guys after Father's Day because I don't want to ruin it. But yes, he appreciates the humor.
That's good.
Yeah. Sometimes he's just like, where did I go wrong? And I probably should have pulled out. Yes, my brother, when he was like 12 years old, invented this phrase. And I've never heard anybody else use it, but he just goes around screaming humper dumper all the time. And now I do it. And
It's tailor-made for being the safe word. It's tailor-made. Like that's a layup. That's low-hanging fruit.
Hopper Dumper! Help!
You should be selling a T-shirt with that on your website.
I know. You know what? That's a great idea. Did you guys see the T-shirts that I came up with?
No.
I just started selling these T-shirts, and nobody's bought any, which is fine. I don't care, because I did the Teespring, so it doesn't cost me any money until. This one shirt says, "I went to a demonic location, and all I got was this lousy shirt."
You got to have those available on site.
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
I know. It's just a lot of overhead.
Yeah.
Can't 3D print T-shirts. It'd be uncomfortable.
We could put you in touch with a sweatshop that we know.
Oh, well, cool.
They're operating out of Hayden's basement right now. Yeah.
Hey,
Let's get back to work.
If it gets a little noisy in the background, just let me know.
I was gonna say, if it gets noisy in the background, I got 3D printers going over there.
Yeah, so do I. Oh, man.
I am so gonna make that shirt now. Dad, if you're watching this or listening to this, I'm getting you a Humper Dumper shirt for Christmas.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, man. On that note, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with our alien review. Christopher Michael Blake and Cody Sharpe, who will be joining us and hanging around.